Everyone, it's another What's Up Wednesday. This happens to be the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. It's a cool, drizzly, kind of dismal day here in New England, but I have a fellow New Englander here with me today that I'm very excited to bring to you. This is Francine Coughlin from Bark and Roll Canine Care. I've known Francine for quite some time, but she did something extraordinary that I wanted her to share with not only the pet sitters and professional pet care providers out there, because what she did with her staff was super cool, but I also want to share with pet owners the importance and the fun that we can have training and learning about how to best care for essentially your animals. So Francine's on with me today. Hi, Francine.
Hi.
Thank you for coming on. Francine is a few towns north of me, and so we've been running in the pet care circle, but Francine's business has branched and grown and just been amazing. So I want Francine to tell us a little bit about her company and how she got started and her cool, awesome name, because she has a theme and she rocks it. So, Francine, take it away with that. Share with us and tell our audience what, all about Bark and Roll and where you are and how things are going. Oh, and P.S., we're both fellow BU alums, so woo, woo.
Go Terriers.
I know. I saw an article the other day with Francine. I was like, how'd you get BU to write about you? And she's like, I went there. And I was like, me too. So
they reached out to me, which was weird. And I was like, you really want to talk to me? I don't know why, but hey, cool. So anyway,
that was awesome.
It's weird that, our mascot is a dog.
I know, right? It's like we were fated for this, but neither one of us own a Boston Terrier.
No, I love them, but they're not the dog for me. I like the mixed breed Muskies.
Yeah, I like the bigger dog that I can't trip on and hurt.
So Bark and Roll, I founded Bark and Roll in 2010. I was living in California and I was in the film industry. My degree from Boston University is actually in film and television.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, yeah. So I was working out there and I was working on set with animal trainers, and I just had my eyes open to the wonderful world of clicker training. And I started doing some rescue work on the side because working out there was pretty intense, like 14-hour days.
Oh, I can imagine.
And I needed something different. And there's a great dog culture out there because the weather's always great and the dog parks are amazing.
Wait, they have dog parks?
They have some amazing dog parks. Actually, I'm on the dog park committee for our town of North Reading, and I keep going back to here's the Laurel Canyon Dog Park, and it's expansive and beautiful. But anyway, I digress. So so I ended up doing some volunteer work out there. There's a lot of high kill shelters, so I was doing LA County shelters, and then I ended up rescuing a few dogs out there of my own, and then I ended up coming back to Boston to do film here for many, many different reasons. And I was just feeling like I was the most burnt out. I think I was 26 at the time, the most burnt out 26-year-old you've ever spoken to. So I was like, you know what? I kind of accomplished what I wanted to with film, and I'm really passionate about rescue and about dogs. So I ran into someone at a party who was going to animal behavior college and to become a dog trainer. And I was like, that's weird because I've been really thinking about it, but I didn't know how to get started. So there I went. And then I decided, okay, I definitely want to do dog training. I'm going to do it part-time and do film the rest of the time, but I need something to supplement the income. So, hey, I'll just start my own business. So
the true entrepreneurial spirit. I'll just start my own company.
I'll just start my own business. Well, everyone in my family, my two older brothers, my mom and my dad have all had their own businesses at one point or another. Cool. Some of them still do. So that's the entrepreneurial spirit runs deep in our family. So we don't like to answer to anyone, I guess.
Except for in the dog world, you're answering to,
all our clients.
600 to 1,000 people.
Guys. So anyway, I started Bark and Roll. I was sitting around the table with my family and we were chit-chatting, and I was like, look, I want to do this. They were like, oh, we're super supportive. What should the name be? And everyone's coming up with these ridiculous names. And I have a little rescue named Nellie who has a natural mohawk. And I was like, I always, call her a rock and roll dog or whatever. And I love rock and roll. I love music. I was raised around rock and roll. My father played guitar. And yeah, I decided that I wanted to do Bark and Roll. It just came out of my mouth. And I was like, that's fun. And then she's going to be kind of our logo was inspired by her, but it's definitely not her. And then, yeah, there I went, walking dogs. I was up to 20 dogs a day in 6 different towns. because I didn't know where the demand was because I'm in the
we
suburbs.
did the same.
Suburbs, so it's like you can only really walk one family's dog at a time, unless you're targeting apartment buildings, which I was not. And then I was training after work and on weekends, so it quickly blew up, and I ended up having to hire. After a year and a half, I ended up having to hire my first walker, and that was really hard for me because I really wanted all the control over all the fur babies.
Oh yeah.
So I got a lot of advice from you, and I'll be forever grateful for your guidance. You are a mentor for sure.
A better coach than player, I will say that though.
Yeah, I know. Well, we all are, aren't we?
I could probably use your advice now in my business. Like you get to a point and you're like, yeah, I can improve on so much.
Sometimes you're not stale, but sometimes you lose the focus. But it's always good to have connections in the industry. I find it to be a really weird industry because whereas in the film industry it was super social and everybody knew everybody's business and we were always talking to each other, I feel like it's a very guarded business, and so like people in the pet industry are like very, very protective of their.
Particularly in New England, so I meet all these people from conferences or just talking to them about Pro Pet Hero, and they'll have like even DC has its own networking group, and Texas has like the Texas Pet Sitter Net group, and Ohio, and it's like. New England, I definitely have some wonderful colleagues here, but people are very closed.
We'll create it, and I think we need chapters because we're all kind of spread out and busy. But we'll create it. That'll be a 2018 initiative. How is that?
Good go. Perfect. Done. It's now publicly displayed. So
okay,
so do it.
Guys, you guys can hold us accountable. So anyway, so bark and roll, walking, sitting, training, and then I had a training school. That was small and I needed a bigger space. And last August, I found a space after years of looking and searching. And
I know, I feel like I see you ribbon cutting all the time now.
So we opened a daycare, boarding, and training space in North Reading on Route 28 on Main Street. So it's located in my town, and it's been going great.
You still have the other place, or you got rid of the?
No, I had gotten rid of that. It just wasn't a great fit. I grew out of it and it wasn't a great fit, but I needed a space that I could actually do. I wanted to expand to do the boarding and the daycare, which has been really enjoyable. The daycare has, we're very focused on training in the daycare. So
interactive. I saw that.
Yeah, we work on training goals every day and it's been fun. But my team has blown up. So we have a very large staff now. And whereas it was easier in the past to get everyone CPR and pet first aid certified,
I would just come and certify them.
You would just come and certify them. Or, before that, we had done the Red Cross. So, it's gone through definitely, we've gone through several different programs. And to find one online where everyone can do it on their own time, I gave them a deadline. And that's awesome. I want to touch upon that if you don't mind. Your deadline. This course, business owners love this course for so many reasons. It's veterinary instructed. It's quick. It's efficient. It's thorough. It's everything that you want, and your staff can take it on their own time. So you technically don't lose a second of pet care time because it's 2 hours of payroll per person if you're generous, and it's easy to do. However, getting the staff to actually do it, another part of what I do besides just saying, hey, this course is awesome is, hey, I see that, you bought 15 courses, but only 3 people have taken it over the last 6 months. Do you need help? And I went in to check in on your account. It was like, boom, all 15 done, I think within 24 hours. So you got to tell us what the heck you did, because that was impressive. And I want to share that with people because this is wonderful education that people need and that business owners want their staff to have, and a lot of staff want it. I think there's just that barrier of it's really not as hard as you think, A, to get your staff to do it, and B, for the staff to actually enjoy doing it. So please tell us your secret, please. Well, for us, we're very much a family, not to sound cheesy, but it's true. And, once I send an email out, I think, the team starts to talk about it and we've got to do this thing. And I think some of my staff decided to do it together. And I don't know if they were like racing. I don't know what they were doing. But
there was some competition going on because
I didn't have the competition at first because I know my staff, they're really good. And I knew they were going to follow through. And there's probably going to be like 2 or 3 that I was going to have to nag a bit to finish it. But because I gave them a couple weeks deadline. It's not like I just said like, here's a week. But I was like, here's a couple weeks. I'm sure you can fit it in, just a little bit at a time. And, we're going to obviously pay for it and everything like that. And they were really happy about that, because continuing education for pet care peeps, like, I don't know, it's not something a lot of businesses that I know actually do for their staff.
Well, they should. It's an entry-level job. We expect these people to have this knowledge, both dog training, behavior, recognize symbols like you're about to get bit. That dog's really nervous. They're doing calming signals. Not only that training, but also in order to recognize when something's wrong. And we can't expect, a nurse goes to nursing school and then gets paid nursing wages. A dog walker, there isn't a dog walking school. So it does fall on the business owners. And I think business owners know that and respect that. But, it's a challenge, but it doesn't need to be. It can be fun. It can be incentivized. It can be competitive, even though you didn't intend yours to be. It somehow turned into it.
Like, I mean, I was a little overwhelmed before I knew what the cost was going to be. I was like, oh, here we're going to bite this bullet. It's going to be really expensive because there's 24 of us now. So, I mean, some of our team didn't go through the program because they're vet techs, and they were like, oh, we're good.
Yeah.
But most of our team did, as you saw. So what ended up happening was, after I sent out the link, within 3 hours, someone had completed it. And I was like, whoa. And I said to her, and
who's that go-getter?
Not even teacher's pet, because we have a teacher's pet that everyone makes fun of. Her name is Maddie. I'm calling you out, Maddie. And I was like, oh, gee, Maddie, if Maddie knows that Ashley completed this so quickly, I bet you it'll light a fire under her. So I emailed everyone, like, right when I got it, and I said, hey, everyone, just so you know, it looks like Ashley has kind of put you all to shame. She's already finished the course. And that just started a whole thing. I said, look, prizes for the top 3 who finish. So there we go. They're rolling in now. So it was fun, and I know that some of our team, I think there's a few people maybe that have left. I don't know if there's a few people that have left to take it. I think everyone's done it at this point.
I'm pretty sure everybody's taken it. That's why I was like, well, at least they banged through within 24 hours, because it caught my eye. I don't get notices or anything, but I check in daily to see what companies could use assistance in getting their staff through, and Bark and Roll did not need any.
Yeah, no. So there we are. It was obviously important to everyone, and I got a lot of really positive feedback too. Not just because it was fun and it was funny, because emails were flying around the team, kind of trash talking, like who's going to get it done next.
Which is
but they did great, and they all said that it was really easy to follow, and it was informative, and they all learned things that they hadn't learned before. And I knew a few of our staff were going in like, yeah. Some of them have been, pet owners forever, and you think you know everything until it actually happens. And we've been in situations where I know Sarah had to do the Heimlich on a dog, and that was terrifying. But she said if she didn't take the course with you, with the stuffed dogs that we that we were manipulating, she wouldn't have known what to do. So I mean, you go into that mode, and it's really good to be prepared. So yeah, that's what we did. We needed a competition, and it just kind of evolved into a competition, because I guess my staff is extremely competitive, and
it's awesome. I mean, that was what I would call a healthy educational competition. It was awesome.
Yeah. So I'm happy that it's done, and they're happy that it's done. And, whenever we need to renew, I think I'll probably raise the stakes a little higher.
That's awesome. So going back to Bark and Roll, so what we kind of know, your genesis story and how it happened, but as an owner, I'm going to ask you, the good and the bad. What do you find the most fulfilling? And then also, what do you find the most challenging?
I mean, the most fulfilling for me, I'm a certified trainer and behavioral consultant. So I don't just do the walking and everything like that. I mean, mostly the team does all of that now. But I do a lot of hard cases now. I'm consulting on a lot of hard cases. And I think that, coming to a happy ending in those hard cases is always really fulfilling, obviously. It's been really fulfilling to be able to start our own nonprofit, which we started in May.
Oh, that's cool. What's that? Tell us more about that.
BNR's Rock and Rescue. So we're bringing in dogs. We're going to bring them in from the South and Puerto Rico. We have a few connections down there, and train, rehab, rehome kind of deal.
That's awesome.
And also, I'm always getting calls and emails almost on a daily basis, or being tagged on a community post on Facebook, a friend of a friend needs to rehome their dog, and
Yeah.
it's local in the community. So I figure in this way we can actually have them officially surrender the dog to us, because it's really hard when you're in the gray area trying to help.
Yeah, like I'm trying to help, and the person doesn't want to give up the dog, but they like that the dog is in your care, and they could take them back whenever they want to.
Right, and I want to be able to like properly evaluate the dog and have the dog stay with us for a bit, and really truly find the right match for the dog. Give them the right training to make it a successful match. So that's been really fulfilling, obviously, because it's a dream come true for me and my staff who are really passionate about rescue. And yeah, it's fulfilling to see people too. Like we have people, mostly women on my team, not by any.
It seems to happen. One of my top walkers, and I think it's funny. Ever since Walking Dead came out and I call my people walkers, I'm like, you know what I mean, right? They're not dead. My husband is one of my, he's my best employee. And it's just funny. We've had some guys over the years that have been great, some not so. But it's just when you look at the applicants, I would say 95% of them are women.
It's true. And it's been cool to see women, leaving their full-time job or leaving their careers and moving over to the pet care field and being able to give them the ability to earn money doing what they love. That's been really awesome. I get a lot of emails just saying, I'm thinking about leaving, what can I expect if you had any opportunities available? So that's fulfilling to be able to have, to be able to offer the opportunity to do what we do, because I think it's the best career in the world, obviously. So
well, it is. I don't know why it isn't.
So yeah, we are hiring again too. If anybody's interested out there.
Anybody watching. So let us know what towns you cover. We know that you're located in North Reading, but
we basically, for daily walking and sitting, we do Reading and North Reading. We do a little bit of the Wilmington side, the North Reading side of Wilmington, but we really have enough business to cover Readings, which is ideal for us because we're able to, stay more local, save gas, and just have a more of a presence in our own community, which is really nice. So we will go a little bit further to do in-home overnight sitting, but generally the Readings. And training-wise, we go everywhere. We go to Boston.
I think it's important for pet care companies, particularly, to have a zone, because you and I both start out and we'd pretty much take wherever we go, and then you get to a point where you're like, you realize from a business standpoint, this isn't wise because I'm losing so much time in the car. Then you learn from an economical and, green standpoint that your carbon footprint is massive because you're driving all over the place. And it's just, I think it's one of many, many challenges that pet care businesses face, but the earlier you can come to it. So anybody watching this that's, just getting started, sure, go ahead and take dogs wherever, but remember that you might need to limit your area to a section, and then that's where you're going to want to network and find another good sitter, or walker in your area that can provide that care, because that's definitely a mistake I made. We were covering Needham, Newton, Watertown, Waltham, Belmont, Cambridge, and finally we were like, whoa, no. And I won't even cover parts of Waltham and parts of Belmont now. I cover a very specific area of just Watertown, Waltham, and Belmont, so.
Yeah, that has to happen. Organically, it happens anyway, but because you start not being able to take on the jobs, it's just there's not enough hours in the day. But the breakup process was really slow for us.
Breakup in general is hard.
There are clients to this day that I miss so much, in Linfield and Wakefield and those towns,
or even when they move out of your service area and they assume.
That is just another thing.
It's only 2 towns over. You can't service us? No. I had clients actually make me draw where we would cover, and they moved in that area.
We have too. We have people who, when they're starting their real estate search, will ask, what's the mileage and things like that. So that's flattering. Obviously, that's a nice thing. But yeah. So it's good to have a focus. It's good to focus your service area. I have a bad back now, and I blame it on all that walking.
You should hear my husband's rotator cuff. If I have to hear one more time about his poor rotator cuff, I'm like, just get it fixed. And he's like, but I can't walk dogs. I'm like, then don't get it fixed. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
I walked for like 3 years with a broken sesamoid bone in my foot. And the doctor was like,
yeah.
It's like, That's just what I did. I couldn't, my
we're just
dog.
tougher. We're just genetically, we're tougher. You know, we just are.
Yeah, definitely. So we talked about some of the challenges, but what would you say, you know, knowing your business area and breaking up with clients, but what would you say are some others, or what is the one that like stands above them all when you're like, okay, I love being an entrepreneur. I love my job. I love every dream that I'm able to come true, but this is one challenge that I constantly put my head up against.
Oh, I know it, and I know it every day, and I probably speak to it every single day. It's finding reliable, trustworthy staff that will stay with you and, you know, can make it work, because, you know, you're not making millions, and you know, it is a physical job. For the most part, what we do is very physical, and it's people who can actually do it in the New England weather.
Yeah.
And, you know, not just our crew that's, you know, I call them boots in the ground, but our crew that's working at the daycare and boarding facility. I mean, it's very physical, and it's a long day. And just being able to find people that, you know, have the focus and the passion and the follow through, because I have very high standards. I'm
I hear you. Like I think that's probably 90%. In fact, I would even go higher. I'd love to, you know, shout out, drop a note in the comments. I would love to hear somebody say, oh, hiring is not an issue for me whatsoever, because we might be at 99.9% of businesses. I mean, we might just be there. And I think there's so many reasons that go into it. But what I found, I still don't have the secret sauce for hiring. You know, there's companies like Hireology that's helped. You know, I hate that everything's kind of moved online, because I feel like most of my staff came from the dog park I used to go to, but I moved away from that area. I don't go to the dog park anymore, and, you know, all those issues. But at the end of the day, I feel like one of the things where I've been lucky in retention of staff is being able to give them more. And of course, I'm going to say Pro Pet Hero, but giving them that education. And also I've been able to use other training material and just teaching them to understand, even if you're just teaching them calming signals, or to understand why that dog does that, or that every time it's wagging its tail when it sees that one dog doesn't mean that it's excited to see that dog. How is it wagging its tail? Is it upright and pointy? Is it down and low? Like,
and the knowledge, you know, the knowledge has been passed down. We have a good retention rate, and the people that have been on our team for years now, since almost the beginning, the knowledge has been passed along, and it's really nice because they still do the training of the new employees, and the retention rate, I think, is the same. You know, we try. I really truly care about every single person on my team, and I hope that shows, and they feel that, because I really want them to be happy. I don't want anyone to be unhappy working with dogs. I mean, that's just an oxymoron.
I think also we're up against I never want to bring up, you know, like the elephant in the room, the apps. And I don't feel like business has been affected by that. But I think what happens is, because this is such an enjoyable job and you and I are entrepreneurial spirits, these apps have allowed more people to kind of explore that entrepreneur in a way. But they're still locked under these other companies. And I think if you have somebody that wants to be a dog walker and they Google dog walker, you know, that app comes up. Sure. And so they go there first. But I'm also finding people, I'm looking on the resumes and they're saying, you know, worked for this app, did some jobs for this app. And I used to, you know, write them off at first and be like, that's conflict of interest. Now I take the time to call them up and be like, hey, so are you currently still pet sitting on the side, or what's your deal? And they said, oh, it's so hard to, you know, keep track of all that and the scheduling and the client meetings. I'm like, that's what we're here for. So I think there's going to Yeah, I think there's going to be a good backlash from that. So we kind of lost our pool of applicants to the, you know, the gig economy in a way. But I think I have a positive outlook. I think things are going to bounce back because enough people, being an entrepreneur, I mean, you had it in your blood. I don't know exactly where it came from for me, but it was just, it's in me, and it's not for everybody. You know, my husband, again, super supportive, wonderful business partner, but not a starter. He's a doer, he's a supporter, but he's not a starter. So right. I think there's different people in the world, and the gig and the app world makes everybody give them the ability to be a starter, but not everybody can handle it. So I think we're going to see, I think we're getting to the tipping point here where hopefully the hiring pool will, because we're all saying the same thing. I wish somebody, I would pay a large sum of money if somebody was like, ding, here's your solution.
Me too. So
Here's all your people. This is where they've been hiding.
Come up with that too. We'll have to like a screening process of some sort, and yeah. And
well, we definitely need to network more because I know, you know, like people that you might have applied to your area might live in Waltham, and I know Jenna has been helpful with me from Money Pros when she had a client or a employee that applied from Waltham that ended up working out great for 2 years. She ended up going to dental school, which I knew from the beginning, but 2 years was great. So yeah, I mean that's. For all the pet sitters out there that aren't networking, and for all the people in New England that aren't networking with us, this is your reason. We can all help each other find staff.
Come to us.
Yes, come to us. 2018, Francine and Kara will be starting something.
Yes, we will.
Francine, I wanted to thank you so much for your time today. I know it's it's a good day to be inside New England. I'm not going to complain. There's some days I interview people and I'm staring out this window and I'm like, the sun today. Happy to be here with you. Happy to be inside warm with my dogs.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And thank you for bringing this program to my attention because otherwise I would have been sifting through all kinds of nonsense. But I knew you were my go-to for this anyway. So
thank you. And feel free to share. We have an affiliate program. You know, I'll post the link. I'm going to post everything about, you know, Francine links to get to her. We're going to post this video in a blog post. I'll get this all up hopefully by today, but definitely in my PJs and Thanksgiving.
On our website. I think you've been on our website.
Yeah. It's the bark-and-roll.com. I can't say it as well as I can say.
.com is not available still. So.
No, it's all good. If you don't even get me started. I'm getactivepaws.com instead of activepaws.com because I missed it by a month. But it's a wonderful grooming company in Cincinnati, Ohio that I say hi to. But whenever you're sick of that domain, I'm right here. So apparently they're doing well. Good for them. All right, Francine. Well, enjoy the rest of your day, and I will certainly catch up with you in 2018. Thanks.